Hey guys, Isabel here. Welcome back to Reeled In. So last Wednesday, episode 5 of What If came out. What if zombies? Now I will say I am not a zombie fan, but this episode had a lot of wow factor and some interesting hidden gems, which I will attempt to explain to you guys in this video. So the first thing I noticed is the opening music. Usually when the what if a sign appears at the end of the introduction, we get a mystical kind of music sequence, but now it's more depressing and creepy, and definitely showcases that this episode is pretty creepy and scary, and yes. We open up on Hulk being transported to New York like he is in the Infinity War movie. Although this time Hulk falls into the different timeline, the timeline with zombies. Usually in the past episodes we see a set difference and everything, so how Peggy Carter chose to stay in the room during Steve's procedure. But this time the difference is more subtle and actually happens kind of off camera, and that's that a zombie virus has outbroken into the world. But Hulk comes out of the Sanctum Sanctorum wearing sorcerer's robes. The children of Thanos are beamed down onto Earth to try and conquer it, although there is, at this moment in time, not really anyone to conquer. The city looks deserted anyways. But we see one of the sorcerer's portals opening, and an Iron Man glove actually shoots Ebony Maw, and we see the silhouettes of Doctor Strange, Wong, and Iron Man. And we can tell that they are already zombies by the sounds they make as they are overpowering Obsidian and Ebony Maw.
Wait, what are you guys? That's...
And also thank you to my YouTube comment on my reaction to this episode for telling me about how this story is actually based on a comic, furthering me to do more research. So there is a comic about Marvel zombies. In the comics, the disease was actually contracted because a Watcher sent a zombified Sentinel to the Earth the MCU takes place on. Although in the comics it seems the virus only affected their bodies, the people who are zombified still seem to have a lot of cognitive function still intact. And we can even see this in this episode when Iron Man, Wong, and Doctor Strange seem to implement a sort of strategy to eat more unzombified flesh. We also see this because Wong and Doctor Strange are still able to produce magic, which is not an innate ability, you kind of have to learn that. And Tony still knows how to use his suit. We also see it how Wanda still shows concern and love for Vision, even though she is zombified. And at the end, when zombie Thanos is still implementing his plan to wipe out half the universe and collect the Infinity Stones. And in the episode, it's revealed that the virus, the zombie virus, is a quantum virus. When Hank went into the quantum realm to rescue his wife had already been infected. I like the little detail of how the Watcher in this episode is actually a lot closer to the viewing point of the audience. We can see his actual appearance, and he comes across as more human, or as human as a Watcher can be, and less like this godly being. Perhaps this indicates that the Watcher grows closer and closer to interfering with the timelines. Because he came pretty close last time with Doctor Strange, like he actually spoke to him, which is what all the way back in my episode 1 breakdown I theorized may actually happen. Also, another interesting thing I saw is that Spidey in this episode and timeline doesn't seem to mind the public, or what's left of the public, knowing his identity. He does not wear a mask at all as he does his zombie apocalypse survival video blogs. And we know with the now 3 Spider-Man movies coming out that Spidey is pretty concerned with keeping his identity a secret. It's literally what drives the whole plot in No Way Home. And it's nice to see that Happy is still alive, Kurt from Ant-Man, and Sharon and Bucky. So not all the Avengers have been zombified yet. Also, speaking of Bucky showering in the Stars and Stripes shower curtain, foreshadowing his future uptake of the Captain America shield. So there is a universe where Bucky gets the shield. It's just during a zombie one. Also, another thing to notice is that Bucky has his black arm in the Sacred Timeline movies, the MCU movies. Bucky gets this in Infinity War from the Wakandans. So obviously the events of the end of Infinity War haven't happened yet, so I'm assuming the Wakandans actually gave it to him a little bit earlier this time. Also, Okoye still survived. Love her, so happy she did, and so sad in the end when she probably kind of died. Or got turned into a zombie. Here we can see what looks like the Hulk Buster hand being used as a projector system, showing the coordinates to Camp Lehigh, where Steve Rogers trained in the first Captain America movie. Tony took the Infinity Stone during the time heist in Endgame, and where Steve and Nat actually blew up that facility upon discovering Zola's AI, which I think is also in Civil War, I think. And in order to get to Grand Central Station, they are driving in the Pym van. Like in Ant-Man, they were traveling around in miniature, and a zombie somehow spots them, even though they're like the size of an ant.
There's a difference. Everybody.
Similar to how they pigeon spotted Scott and Hope in the Ant-Man movie. And we do get a bit of a fourth wall break with Peter referencing what all audiences know about horror movie tropes.
Splitting up? Do you guys just not have horror movies in Wakanda?
We don't need them. We have American reality shows.
And unfortunately, Happy does get zombified, although I do think it is funny that when he wants to use the weapon, he still says blam, just in a very slow and zombified way. And we get Zombie Falcon. I mean, honestly, they just get everyone. But during their escape, Spidey and Cape make a team up, perhaps hinting at the future No Way Home movie. Obviously, we know from the trailer, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are both in it. Also, perhaps indicating some sorcery going on with Spider-Man himself. Bucky and Zombie Cap face off. Bucky catches the shield like he does in Winter Soldier and uses it to slice Cap in half. He then takes up the shield as his own. He also says these words.
Sorry, pal. Guess this is the end of the line.
Which is kind of like their thing. It's what they always said to each other. They would be with each other till the end of the line, just not during a zombie apocalypse. Uncle Ben is officially mentioned in the MCU. We only got his initials in Far From Home.
Practice, I guess. My mom, Dad, Uncle Ben, Mr. Stark.
But Hope contracts the virus. He has an open cut. And in order to do one last sacrifice / help the group, she transforms into her ginormous size to walk the remaining Avengers across the field of zombies. And just the imagery of Hope essentially dying with the setting sun honestly brought tears to my eyes when I first watched it. And like, you can really think about it, like the setting sun is pretty much the death of a day. So she died as the day died, which was very poetic and super sad. And since this is, or at least supposed to be, one of the more scary episodes of What If, we do get a jump scare upon a jump scare.
Burial grounds.
No, oh no! I totally just jump scared you. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
This is Spider-Boy. Come on.
Or at least a jump scare to the characters in the episode. And we get this big science word here.
Could that mean the infection is some kind of encephalopathy?
Brain stuff.
Which means having damage done onto the brain. But it seems like, at least as in the comics and also as we've seen so far, that the damage is more to the body and their cognitive function is still pretty up to par, maybe a little less than like normal humans. So like that seems kind of to be a contradiction. I know a lot of the MCU is not directly taken from the comics and they do sort of warp it around a little bit, but I don't know, the evidence just kind of seems to be against that. And they can just never give Wanda a break. She's a zombie too. I just want her to live happily ever after with Vision and just be happy and not have to go through so much trauma. Please and thank you. But they did get T'Challa, so that's awesome. And in terms of creepiness and scariness, with this image right here, they are definitely preparing us for a multiverse. Vision tells the group to escape on a quad jet, which is the predecessor to a Quinjet. In the movie Captain Marvel, Carol and Fury actually use a quad jet. And Vision taking out his own Mind Stone is now the 4th time we've seen him die. Twice in Infinity War, once in WandaVision, and now in What If? And that is 4 times too many, in my opinion. Thank you. I just want him and Wanda to be happy. That's it. That's all I want. Notice though how he actually decolorizes here, like he did in Infinity War and in WandaVision. And some big questions on this episode is, where did Bucky get thrown to? And did the Hulk die? Technically he isn't supposed to be able to die, but he went against Wanda. And Wanda's like super powerful. But he's still a Hulk. So. But before Bruce goes on to confront Wanda, he gives Spidey the Time Stone and tells him to avenge us.
I don't think I can lose another friend today.
So, avenge us.
Making Spidey now an official Avenger since Tony isn't there to knight him like he did in Infinity War. And this episode ends with zombies trying to break the Wakandan force shield and zombie Thanos standing in front of what looks like to be the Wakandan city, which means he's already broken through to Wakanda and has infected everyone and is just waiting for T'Challa and Scott and Spidey to arrive and infect them as well. So I have no idea if they do a part 2 for this episode, the zombie timeline, how on earth that big problem will be solved. Because at this point, you've kind of already lost. And Thanos has 5 out of the 6 Infinity Stones. He just needs the Mind Stone, and then he can snap. But you're just gonna snap away zombies? Like, technically your problem is already solved. If you want to conserve the universe's resources, zombies don't do anything except eat other people. So then you're just taking away their resource, because there probably isn't already enough of it anyways, because probably more than half of the population are zombies and not like humans. So not sure how the plan will work for that one. But overall, I give this episode a 6 out of 10. It had a lot of wow factor and a lot of characters which I enjoyed seeing. However, I personally am just not a fan of zombies at all. I said in my reaction video, zombies is my number 4 fear out of like 18, right after chainsaws. Well guys, that was my breakdown for you. Leave a like on the video, comment, did you enjoy this episode? Are you a zombie fan? And was this your favorite episode or not? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload future reaction and breakdown videos. Well guys, that's all I've got for you today. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.